moment of reflection, of pride, and above all, of transformation. The university was born from a bold vision, first imagined by the then chairman of HEC, Dr. in 2005. It was revived in 2016, approved by the KP government in 2018, and brought to life under the dynamic leadership of Dr. Nasir Khan in 2020. And in just 5 short years, PAFIST has emerged not only as an academic institution, but as a movement of innovation and impact. From a humble beginning with 138 students, our academic community has grown to over 4,000 students across 4 faculties that are computing and design, life sciences, engineering, and management and social sciences. The Faculty of Computing and Design alone houses about 2,600 students. And it's heartening to know that 36% of our total student body are talented young women, breaking barriers in STEM fields. This is not just growth, it is transformation. We have expanded our academic portfolio with the School of Paramedical Sciences, a Rs 1.275 billion technology park, and a 300 billion grant to establish a medical and dental college, propelling us towards becoming a truly multidisciplinary university. We've expanded our academic portfolio, and ladies and gentlemen, with internationalization has been our compass. Between 2020 and 2025, we have built powerful academic bridges to Austria, Germany, China, and UK. In 2024, 37 students traveled abroad for academic exchange. This year, the number is 111, a 236% increase. And that includes 60 students in Germany and 51 to Austria. We have launched 5 COIL program projects, hosted Pakistan's largest ever UK higher education delegation, and were appointed co-lead of the UK-Pakistan Skill Partnerships Manufacturing and Engineering Group. PAFIST is not just a teaching university. It is a research powerhouse with 26 funded projects totaling over 34 million rupees and 132 high impact factor publications in 2024 alone. We are redefining what young research institutions can achieve. Our 25% grant success rate stands tall among national peers. Research at PAFIST means relevance. 47% of our MS theses are applied, leading to 25 market-ready products, 15 prototypes, and 2 startups in a single year. Commercialization is no longer a future dream. It is here. We have generated more than 2 million through testing services and analytics. Our events like AICT 2024 and Prakash 2024 showcase our ability to bring academia, industry, and culture into one powerful dialogue. Entrepreneurship is thriving. Our Business Incubation Center, recognized as KP's top performing incubator, nurtured 37 startups, generating more than 10 million rupees in revenue and 44 new jobs. The Fachhochschule Innovation Technology Park is now a national benchmark, home to 30,000 plus square feet of high-tech activity, with 240 jobs created, 27 products, and exports to 10 international markets. It has become a hub of high-tech manufacturing. इकबाल ने बहुत सही कहा था, ये कायनात अभी नातमाम है शायद, कि आ रही है दमादम सदाए उन फकीरों. Dear graduates, you are the first torchbearers of a new educational model in Pakistan, a model rooted in the Austrian Fachhochschule philosophy, applied learning, international collaboration, and deep industry alignment. You are the embodiment of what we set out to create, professionals grounded in ethics, rich in skills, and ready to lead. This journey has demanded courage, resilience, and vision. But today you stand tall, not just as graduates, but as the foundation stones of PAF-IAST's legacy. Congratulations to class of 2024 and 2025. May your path be bright. May your path be bright, meaningful, and transformative. I thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Your insightful address has truly set the tone for this remarkable event.
It is my distinct honor to invite a renowned figure whose exceptional contributions to education and leadership have left a lasting impact. With a career dedicated to inspiring minds and shaping the future, he joins us today to offer words of encouragement and inspiration to our graduating class. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Professor Dr. Suhail Rakhi. Professor Dr. Suhail Rakhi.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Respected Chief Guest, Minister Akbar Khan, Professor Dr. Ataur Rahman, Dr. Nasir, Mujahid, respected colleagues of the board, guests. I cannot describe the feeling that I have standing here today on the realization of a long, long dream. And I'd like to spend a little bit of time going back to where it all started. And like all things good, it started in friendship and family. The friendship was of Dr. Atta with a remarkable Professor Rowe. As much an antithesis of the professor as you ever witnessed, who reveled in driving his motorcycle way above the speed limit, hair flying in the wind, a professor of chemistry, with the bond of friendship with Dr. Atta that transcended everything. That formed the basis of the launch of the first program to send PhDs abroad from HEC, and that was Washington. And then myself, because I bring the heritage of Austria, where my mother is from, Vienna, and Pakistan, where my father was from. So of course, when Dr. Atta talked about Austria, jumped on it. Of course, it helped that my cousin was on the other side from the Austrian service, but that is fine. That is how the world operates. And then as we developed the programs of higher education in Pakistan, that focused on this one fact, that the real true wealth of Pakistan is its youth and the talent that it brings. How is it that a small country whose population is the size of the greater Rawalpindi Islamabad area has a GDP that rivals that of Pakistan? How did that happen? It was because of the focus on human development, on science and technology. It was because of innovation and entrepreneurship, which allowed, let's say, the most advanced automobile manufacturing to be established in Graz, for example, where BMWs and Mercedes and other machines will be rolling off the same assembly line. Robotics, they were at the forefront. How did that happen? When we looked at that, we saw that as in the rest of Europe, there are two tiers of higher education. There were two tiers since then combined. There were universities, and then there was the application. And the word Fachhochschule comes from that. It is the universities of, as they are known now, of applied sciences. Hence the word relevance that Mujahid spoke about. You have this fantastic technology, how is it going to hit the ground? And it was clear that for Pakistan, that is what is required. Especially if you look at the region of Haripur, with the surrounding areas of Pexla and Kamra and Asangabad and Wa, and you look at what could be possible. Countries progress because they make things themselves, because they invest in their people, because they believe in their people. And their march of technology is relentless. What that means is that after every little while, everybody gets a chance to be on a level playing field and to produce the most advanced topics of research and development and work on them in the world. This was not an easy journey, because as the politics changed, there was this fantastic project, it was approved, we were done home, we were ready to launch it, and the government changed. And over there on the Austrian side, we had a consortium of Fachhochschulen that kept changing. So as we were discussing earlier today, that this project died more times than it did. But fortunately, the time that it became alive was one more than the time that it died. And I mean that. We would walk into rooms in Vienna and have these meetings, and there were just long, stern faces because all the promises we were making, we were unable to keep because one thing or another would be changing. But it was persistence, relentless persistence, and the belief that if you are thinking of something good and you are working for the betterment of this country, inshallah it will happen. And so we kept on going back and forth and back and forth. And then the KP government, catalyzed by the efforts of Nasser and supported by Mujahid, started taking ownership of this project and realized what it would be. What you have seen and what Mujahid has spoken about is a very, very small glimmer into what the future holds. I was fortunate to have been part of the founding team at the start of GI Games, one of whose graduates sits right here with his own company, and many of his colleagues run billion-dollar companies in the Silicon Valley. That is also what was situated in the most, next to the Dunamazai industrial estate, where when I originally came, I said the only mechanized machine in Topi at that time was the Naswar machine that went up and down smashing the. And I said, Alexander came over here and I came over here, and I think that's the only mechanization change that it was. Look what it produced. These people that we have, and Pakistan sits at the beginning of the demographic dividend. While the entire world is losing its talent because the people are not there, we sit on the largest reservoir of talent, one of the largest that exists in the world. All this that we are charging for and thinking about, that this is wealth, that the gold is wealth, that the rare earth minerals are wealth, that the oil is wealth, that the gas is wealth, it pales in comparison to what one little group of people could create. And one of them, I am convinced, will create value that combines and is worth everything else that you could think about. So this is, I guess, a plea and a request to the government of Pakistan and the government of KP for the future of this country. Invest in human development, and that is what is going to take this country forward. In the spirit of Austria and Pakistan, I would also like to talk to you a little bit about Leonard Wittgenstein and the language of love. You say, well, what's going on over here? This is an Institute of Applied Science and Technology, and here I want to talk about philosophy. Because Wittgenstein went to the Technical University in Berlin and was qualified as a technologist. And then became one of the greatest professors and philosophers of the world. And that is the lesson that I want you to take. What you have done should never be defining your future. Every day that you will wake up, there will be new knowledge, new thoughts. And there will be some murmur in your heart. It is that language of the heart that you need to understand. The university has focused on the language of the mind. But your future needs to be defined by your heart. If you are a computer scientist and you want to think about tobacco cultivation near Madan and mechanize that, and that is what your heart wants, follow your heart. If you want to go and study English literature from there onwards, follow your heart. It will never lead you wrong. Yes, you may not get all the financial benefits that others may have, but eventually you will. So as the proud first graduates of the Pakistan Austria Fachhochschule Institute of Applied Science and Technology, take this lesson forward, that your heritage is both Iqbal and Wittgenstein. Study them, learn the language of your heart, and God bless you with your success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words and invaluable insights. Your message has truly resonated with all of us and will serve as a guiding line for our graduates as they step into the next chapter of their lives. We are deeply grateful for your presence and for taking the time to be with us today.
It is our profound honor and privilege to welcome an eminent statesman, a towering figure in the realm of science and higher education, and a true architect of Pakistan's scientific advancement. His Excellency, Professor Dr. Atta Rahman, your visionary leadership as the former Federal Minister for Science and Technology and Chairman of the Higher Education Commission ignited a renaissance in Pakistan's research landscape. Your insights are invaluable to us all. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Dr. Atta Rahman.
Honorable Minister Arshad Yukta Sahib, Honorable members of the Dais, Professor Mujahid, my friend, Professor Nasir, Honorable Deans, faculty members, members of the Board of Governors, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear parents, and most of all, dear students, it is your day today. Assalamu alaikum. Well, it is indeed a dream come true. A dream that we dreamt about 20 years ago, but as you just heard, it went through many ups and downs. But the lesson that we learned from these ups and downs is that if you are determined, if you're passionate, if you don't give up, then ultimately things do work out. And my compliments here to Professor Mujahid and to Professor Nasir Jinnah, the project director, for sticking to this dream and working towards it. And here we are today, alhamdulillah. As Dr. Sunil described, this concept arose out of my friendship with the late Professor Michael Rodin, who was the chairman at one time of the United Nations Commission of Science, Technology and Development. And he was a professor of chemistry at the University of Innsbruck, where we had many students trained in computational sciences. And through the discussions, we agreed that we should establish a Fachhochschule in Pakistan, and he promised his full support. And so he's no longer with us. He passed away last year. As did another giant who was involved, Professor Haripur at Cambridge, who in fact resigned as a master of Corpus Christi College when I explained to him this idea. And he came to Pakistan and worked for about 2.5, 3 years on this program. He also passed away a few months ago, but we should pay homage to them because they made indelible marks towards the creation of this university and towards the realization of this concept. Honorable Minister, this is a very different university from normal universities. As far as I know, it is the first university in the world, to have this hybrid nature, where on the one hand, you have a Fachhochschule, which is a university of applied science and engineering, and goes only up to bachelor's and master's level. On the second hand, it has a full-fledged technical university, as they call it in Germany or in Austria, where you have PhD programs and postgraduate research. That is the second arm of this university. But most importantly, the third part, the technology part, is the heart of this university. So this is an entrepreneurial university. It is not simply about teaching and learning. It is about solving problems of an industrial nature, of working closely with industry, identifying what their issues are. And so every student has to spend 500 working hours in industry. Every student spends 500 working hours in industry before they become eligible for graduation. And the industry sends their experts to the university, so it's a two-way street. And already within a matter of 4 years, again, to my knowledge, it's the first public sector university in Pakistan which has become almost self-reliant within 4 years. This is no mean achievement, and it is the very hard and dedicated work of people like Professor Nasser and Professor Mujahid and an excellent team which has brought this to this point. So kudos to them. And this is something that, a model that we should replicate across the country. Because the name of the game now is innovation and entrepreneurship. Those countries which have realized, as Dr. Suhail just very eloquently explained, that their real wealth lies in their children and are investing in quality education, in science, in technology, and in innovation and entrepreneurship, are marching forward rapidly, leaving others behind. And we had the example of Austria. Let's take an even smaller country, Singapore. Population about 5.5 million, about 1/4 of Karachi. Exports last year were about $400 billion US. 400 billion. Pakistan की 35 अरब डॉलर पे हम फंसे हुए हैं. और छोटा सा Singapore, with no natural resources, almost none, $400 billion. The reason that it is knowledge which is driving economies. Natural resources have diminishing importance. It is the quality of education with which you have imbibed your students, the creative potential within those students, which can be unleashed through challenging problems, and the ecosystem that the government has created, which involves a number of factors, including intellectual property rights, access to technology parks, access to venture capital, ease of doing business, and others, the ecosystem, so that ideas get translated into commercial products and processes. And that is where Pakistan has been lacking. Our universities must transform themselves to this very model. So there are 20 foreign universities collaborating already. There are 11 from Austria. There are 3 from UK. UK, you have Warwick, you have Coventry, and you have Salford. And there's one from Germany, and there are 5 from China. 20 foreign universities collaborating with this institution, each focused in its own strength. Each new foreign university imparting its excellence, its quality, through its faculty, through its training of our faculty, through the linkages of that university with their industry, and so on. So some amazing experiment has been done very successfully so far at the Pakistan Austria Fachhochschule. And this is the path that we have to go through for all the other universities that we have also. We should transform them from just simply education and training to an environment where students who pass out are not just job seekers, they are job givers. They have the ability to write business plans, to form their own companies, to form their own startups and proceed further. And this can and should happen, inshallah. And I was talking to you about there are amazing developments going on in various fields. जो आप परियों की कहानियों में सुना करते थे वो आज हकीकत में आपके सामने आ गया है. And I will just mention one or two important developments that are taking place there. For instance, it has been, let me turn to the field of biotechnology. Just a few examples of how, and what I'm talking about is that those investing in technology, they are earning billions of dollars from innovations. For example, gene editing technologies have come in a big way. And new drugs are coming in now based on CRISPR, for which some Nobel Prizes also went in recent years. This is a gene editing technology. And for a number of diseases now, FDA has now approved drugs based on gene therapy. And the ability to identify what part of the genome of a human being, of a plant, of an animal controls what functions. More and more is becoming known about it. Some scientists, for instance, took the genes of the firefly, took the genes in, which makes them sparkle, put them into flowers, and now you have flowers which sparkle like fireflies. Anti-aging substances have been developed using CRISPR through reactivation of brain cells, and there are a number of new anti-aging compounds coming up: resveratrol, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, and a number of others. And it's thought that children being born today will have ages of 100 years plus, if not longer. Artificial intelligence has come in a big way, AI, and the first new type of antibiotics were approved by FDA, both based on a technology known as AlphaFold 2, and now we have AlphaFold 3, through which you can tell, using AI, the exact three-dimensional conformation of a protein based on its simple amino acid sequence. New materials have come in the field of material engineering, and graphene, for instance, is 200 times stronger than steel, made of pure carbon. So in every field that you look at, there are amazing developments. And behind these developments then are industries which are cashing in on these developments, and those countries which are investing in R&D and facilitating the private sector. And that is another big gap in Pakistan. The reason that China and Singapore and Korea have come up is the facilitation of the private sector for industrial development. That has been missing. And so, with the result that we haven't taken off as we should. So, our leadership should realize that it is time to change gears, realize that knowledge is a key driver, and start linking the research in our universities with agricultural productivity and with industrial growth, and then the magic of science can happen. There is a serious problem in Pakistan, Mr. Minister, and I would like to draw your attention, and I hope you'll be able to raise this at the highest level. The budgets of our public sector universities remain frozen at 66 billion rupees for the last 7 years. The costs have tripled, with the result that our universities are dying their slow death generally. There is almost no research funding available to universities. They are being transformed into low-level colleges. People are afraid to speak up about this, but I think this needs to be discussed. We need to revive the HEC, as was done back in year 2002, when I persuaded President Musharraf at that time to give a 6,500% increase in budget of science, and later 3,500% increase in the budget of higher education, and we were able to send thousands of the brightest young men and women abroad to top universities. So he was the executive director, we worked together, and there was a very meritorious-based system of selection. And the recent air victory of Pakistan, we were just discussing outside, was due to many of these young men and women trained in IT, trained in artificial intelligence, trained in cybersecurity, in networking. They came and were absorbed in Canberra, in various defense agencies, and they were able to develop a highly integrated systems integration approach, which is what flattened the Indian Air Force. The ability to integrate all these systems, highly complex, also including AI. So ultimately, investment in human resources pays off 1,000-fold. It is high time that we revive our universities. It's high time that we link them and link the research to industrial and agricultural development. And then Pakistan will then too be able to stand with dignity in the Committee of Nations. Before I end, I would like to just say to the students that the most important thing that you should learn is that there can be no compromise on integrity. Many of the problems that we see around us are due to persons who have compromised on integrity and who have not had the courage to speak up, speak the truth, and the result is before you. The second thing I would like to tell the students is that, as Sudhir also indicated, this is a journey of love and passion. You should not be studying degrees, you should not be studying in universities for degrees. You should enjoy the process of learning. You should have the thirst and passion to learn and to know more, and to ask difficult questions, and to try not to tread the trodden path, but to make new paths for yourselves. There are amazing developments, as I just indicated, in various fields. And my last suggestion is that no one will develop this country except you and me. In your future lies the future of Pakistan. This country was acquired after many sacrifices. And it is through your devotion, through your commitment, that this country can continue to flourish and prosper. And inshallah it will. My congratulations to all those students who are getting their degrees today, and to their parents who have contributed so much to your success, but most importantly to your teachers and the faculty of this university, which has worked so hard to bring you where you are today. So my heartiest congratulations. May Allah be with you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, sir. Our sincere appreciation for your inspiring words and valuable encouragement to our graduating class.
I, Director Establishment Pak Austria Fachhochschule, Institute of Applied Sciences and Technology, request the Honorable Pro-Chancellor to confer the degrees of Master of Science in Artificial Intelligence, Master of Science in Data Science, Master of Science in Embedded Systems and IoTs, Master of Science in Energy and Power Systems, Master of Science in Environmental Process and Energy Engineering, Master of Science in Mineral Process Engineering, Master of Science in Mining Engineering, Master of Science in Railway Systems Engineering, Master of Science in Transportation Systems Engineering, Master of Science in Mechanical Manufacturing and Automation, Master of Science in Materials Engineering, Master of Science in Biotechnology,
Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences, Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Bachelor of Science in Software Engineering, Bachelor of Science in Artificial Intelligence, Bachelor of Science in Data Science, Bachelor of Science in Information Design, Bachelor of Engineering in Chemical Engineering, Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical Engineering, Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Sciences, Bachelor of Science in Biotechnology to the students of Pak Austria Fachhochschule, Institute of Applied Sciences and Technology.
Let the candidates be presented.
All eligible candidates of the above mentioned programs, please rise. Honorable Pro-Chancellor Sir, I present to you these candidates who have been certified after examination to be duly qualified to receive the degrees, to which I pray they may be admitted.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Pro-Chancellor of the Institute, I admit you to your entitled degrees, and in token thereof, I authorize you to wear the robes as an insignia of the degree.
Pro-Chancellor Sir, I request that the candidates who are not present here today and who have been certified after examination to be duly qualified to receive the entitled degrees, to which I pray they may be admitted in absentia.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Pro-Chancellor of this Institute, I admit them all in absentia to the degrees to which they are entitled.
I request the Honorable Pro-Chancellor to award gold medals to the best graduates of Pak Austria Fachhochschule, Institute of Applied Sciences and Technology.
Gold medal for the best performance in academics for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Science for the intake 2020 goes to Mr. Muhammad Fawzan. The CGPA is 3.68 out of 4.4. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Muhammad Fawzan.
Gold medal for the best performance in academics for the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Chemical Engineering for the intake 2020 goes to Miss Alha Ruhi Amin. Her cumulative GPA is 3.93 out of 4.0. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Alha Ruhi Amin.
Gold medal for the best performance in academics for the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical Engineering for the intake 2020 goes to Ms. Isfa Zahid. Her CGPA is 3.81 out of 4.0. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Isfa Zahid.
the best performance in academics for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Science for the intake 2021 goes to Miss Amina Mishkar. Her cumulative GPA is 3.86 out of 4.0. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Amina Mishkar.
Gold medal for the best performance in academics for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Biotechnology for the intake 2021 goes to Miss Muratulan. Her CGPA is 3.81 out of 4.0. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Muratulan.
Gold medal for the best performance in academics for the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Chemical Engineering for the intake 2021 goes to Mr. Muhammad Gautar Muhammad Shamil Haq. His cumulative GPA is 3.87 out of 4.0. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Muhammad Gautar Muhammad Shamil Haq.
Gold medal for the best performance in academics for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Software Engineering for the intake 2020 goes to Miss Zainab Binte Ali. Her CGPA is 3.82 out of 4.0. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Zainab Binte Ali.
Gold medal for the best performance in academics for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science for the intake 2020 goes to Miss Mariam. Her cumulative GPA is 3.75 out of 4.0. Miss Mariam is abroad, so I request her younger brother to receive the medal on her behalf.
Gold medal for the best performance in academics for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Artificial Intelligence for the intake 2021 goes to Mr. Muhammad Abubakar Siddiq. His CGPA is 3.68 out of 4.0. Mr. Muhammad Abubakar.
Gold medal for the best performance in academics for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science for the intake 2021 goes to Mr. Abdullah Saji. His cumulative GPA is 3.81 out of 4.0. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Abdullah Saji.
Gold medal for the best performance in academics for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Data Science for the intake 2021 goes to Mr. Jawad Safdar. His CGPA is 3.55 out of 4.0. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jawad Safdar.
Gold medal for the best performance in academics for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Software Engineering for the intake 2021 goes to Mr. Saeed Ahmed Ijaz. His cumulative GPA is 3.46 out of 4.0. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Saeed Ahmed Ijaz.
Gold medal for the best performance in academics for the degree Bachelor of Science in Information Design goes to Ms. Rabna Zubair for the intake 2021. Her CGPA is 3.39 out of 4. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Rabna Zubair.
Thank you very much, sir.
I now request the Honorable Pro-Chancellor to award degrees to the successful candidates.
We begin by inviting the graduates of the Masters of Science in Artificial Intelligence to receive their